Prabhu, you are muted. Radha Krishna Prabhu, you are muted on Zoom. I can't hear anything.
Haribo.
Now I can hear. Thank you.
Now we have to make sure everyone is muted. Okay, Haribo. Okay. Right. Let's go back to the classes. All right, so yeah. Thank you. Who has it on? I can hear someone's phone. On Zoom. That's fine. Yeah, I can lower it down. Is it all right? Okay. So yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, it's
All right,
clear.
good. Okay, good. Now we can start. Okay, so the course is a beginner's course for devotees.
咁呢個課程咧，其實係為入門嘅奉獻者而設嘅。
That means those who want to learn how to act or behave in a proper way.
就係教導我哋咧係點樣用一個恰當嘅方式去行事。
Now this course has gone through many iterations, changes.
咁其實呢個課程咧經過好多次修改嘅。
And it is not complete.
但仍然都未曾係好完美嘅，好完整嘅。
Because every place you go in different culture, you need to try and balance things.
因為去到唔同嘅地方有唔同嘅文化咧，所以咧我哋就要去平衡翻當地嘅。
Some things may be relevant in some countries, and when you hear, you think, what for?
因為有啲細節咧，可能對某啲地方係適用嘅，但係對其他地方咧，可能佢哋就會莫名其妙嘅，即係用得着嘅。
Yeah, so just if you are in doubt and if you want to know more, you can ask and we'll try to explain.
咁如果你哋聽到任何內容，你哋有疑問嘅話咧，你就可以問啦。咁我哋可以嘗試解答。
So overall, it's mainly to understand how our behavior will help us make changes to the way we are growing in our Krishna consciousness.
咁所以其實所有嘅細節咧，都係幫助我哋咧點樣喺 Krishna consciousness 裏邊咧係進步，同埋改變自己。
And at the same time, by behaving in a certain way, you help one another to grow into a better Vaishnava.
亦都係咧，藉住呢啲嘅禮儀咧，我哋互相幫助咧去成長，成為一個更好嘅愛士。
Okay, so if you look into the content page, so this course originally is, we actually use this course, and it is a 15-week course.
咁呢一個課程係15課嘅，15個禮拜嘅課。
Yeah, and generally we spend 2 hours a week.
我哋一般咧係一個星期上2個小時。
Some of these lessons may be longer, so some may be quicker.
咁有一啲嘅某一課咧係會長過其他，有一啲係會短一啲嘅啲課。
So what I'm going to do is in some of these lessons, I may not go into all the topics. I'll just briefly go through them. And I would like you to go back and read. And if you have questions, we can touch on those things.
咁喺呢度裏邊目錄裏邊所有嘅課程咧，我未必係每一個題目都會好詳細講嘅。
For example,
就希望你哋翻去自己可以睇。
Okay, that's going to be a challenge. For example, in lesson 4, you see there's 26 qualities of a devotee.
咁譬如第4課啦，就係講奉獻者嘅26項品質。
Yeah, I may not go through all the 26. I may touch on a few.
咁我係唔會講晒26項嘅，我只會講幾項嘅。
Of course, if we have time, we can always go back on the other.
咁當然啦，如果我哋遲啲有時間，我哋可以翻轉頭再講嘅。
But other things, other lessons where I feel it's very important, we will go through it thoroughly.
咁但係如果係某一啲課，我覺得係好重要嘅話咧，我就會好仔細咁樣詳細啲講。
Okay, and now if you look at the norms for the students and teachers, just read through it, and if you have any questions, you can ask. I also understand that not all of you are going to be attending all the classes.
咁我哋睇睇 A 嗰度咧，就係學生同埋教師嘅守則啦。咁你自己可以立一立啦。咁我亦都明白到咧，呢個課程裏邊咧，你哋未必每一堂都可以上到嘅。
So hopefully you can either hear on Zoom when you're not attending, or you hear the recording.
咁但係咧，希望咧，你哋如果真係嚟唔到嘅話咧，就喺 Zoom 度上啦，或者咧聽翻錄音啦。
Okay. Why is this screen full of news?
Maybe just some pop-quiz coming up.
Pop-up, is it?
It's okay, that's in English. Because you shared from here, so it's okay.
Okay, this is distracting, you know, the news stuff going. Okay, so I'm not going to go through lesson 1 on the norms and students. I want you to read it on your own. So we go to the introduction page.
咁第一課嘅 A 嗰度學生與教師守則，我就唔講啦。我哋而家去到導言嗰度啊。
Okay. All right. So lesson 1 is introduction.
第一課就係導言啦。
And we are going to look at what Vaishnava etiquette is.
我
Okay.
哋而家就係
Try to look in the screen, and occasionally I will try to refer into the books.
咁你哋大部分時間就睇熒幕啦。咁而我只係有啲時間要睇翻書裏邊嗰啲嘅。
So here we'll see what Vaishnava etiquette is all about. All right.
我哋而家睇一睇咩稱為外事為我嘅例。
This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela.
呢個係喺永恆嘅主菜坦耶經嘅後篇。
So Avatara Karya Prabhura Nama Prachare Se Nija Karya Prabhu Karene Tomara Dware. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for which he has descended as an incarnation, is to spread the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now, instead of personally doing so, he is spreading it through you. So who is he talking to?
咁我哋睇翻第一節詩節100至100。
Yeah, I know it's devotee.
咁Sanatana Goswami 同邊個講緊？即係佢係向邊個
I'm asking them who they are, and you are answering them.
佢哋係邊一個？
So I didn't, anyway, he's talking to, he's spreading it through you. So who is he talking to? Importance of chanting holy name.
佢係對邊個講嘢？即係講出任重聖名嘅重要性。
Okay, Haridas Thakur, because you can see there also, that picture is actually not a valid picture, right?
呢個圖畫其實唔係好啱。
Anyway, it is, you can say Haridas Thakur.
你都可以話係
So
批
he
評
continues, Pratyaha Karetina Laksha Nama Sankitan Sabare Age Kara Namera Mahima Katana. My dear sir, you are chanting the holy name 300,000 times daily and informing everyone of the importance of such chanting. So now you know who is it, right?
咁
Haridas
咁
Thakur.
而家係講緊第4頁嘅嗰個1年3個節嘅要旨。
So Mahaprabhu's intimate associates, they all have certain behavior, or actually, I can't say certain behavior. They actually teach us how to be an exemplary devotee.
咁其實佢哋都係喺度教導緊我哋咧，係點樣去示範做一個愛士男，佢哋啲行為啊、舉止應該係點樣。
So he continues, and all these are in your introduction also. He continues, Apena chera kehana kare prachara, prachara karena kehana karena achara. So now you get to the crux of it. Some behave very well, but do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. Can you relate to that? Right? If you know yourself, you understand sometimes you speak the philosophy, but you don't act
有
properly.
時咧，有啲人咧就係佢好明白經典嘅哲學嘅，但係咧佢就唔可以將佢實踐出嚟嘅。
So like they say, right, put your money where your mouth is. That means you talk, you must act according to how you speak.
即是話咧，你所教導嘅咧，你應該自己可以實現出嚟先啱。
Do you need some water? Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then there are devotees who are very nice, but then they don't know how to preach. Yeah.
咁亦都有一啲奉獻者咧，佢哋係即係行為係可以係成為榜樣嘅，但係佢哋又唔去傳教。
So for us, we must try to balance, our behavior and what we speak.
所以對我哋嚟講咧，我哋就應該平衡啦。我哋嘅行為係點咧？然後咧，我哋亦都要需要去出去傳教。
There's a saying, right? Practice what you preach. Yeah.
所以就係話，我哋要實踐我哋教導人哋嘅知識。
So each and every one of you, you are representing who?
咁我哋每一個人其實代表邊一個？
Very good. You are representing Srila Prabhupada.
我哋就係代表緊聖塔巴。
So your behavior, obviously we cannot be just like Prabhupada, but it has to come to a very good standard that people appreciate you.
咁當然我哋唔可以成為聖巴巴啦，咁但係我哋咧要學習聖巴巴嘅教導，然後咧就將呢啲咧嚟去傳教俾傳出去。
So now we come to the text 103. Achara prachara navera karaha dui karya tumi sarva guru tumi jagatera arya. So you can check your book also, it's there also.
第4頁103。
You simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world.
你用你自身嘅行為做榜樣啦，以及用你嘅傳教，同時履行咗聖靈嘅職責。因此咧，你係整個世界嘅靈性導師，因為你係呢個世界上最進步嘅奉獻者。
So here, Sanatan Goswami is glorifying Haridas Thakur.
咁喺呢度咧，Sanatana Goswami 咧就喺度榮耀緊 Haridas
This is actually a murti of Sanatan Goswami.
呢個係一個 Sanatana 嘅像。
So this is another discussion between Sanatan and
呢個係
who?
Sanatana 同邊一個
Mahaprabhu.
嘅Mahaprabhu 嘅對話。
So my dear Sanatan, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and great saints are purified by touching you, it is a characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee.
咁呢個係詩節129至130嘅。我親愛嘅 Sanatana，雖然你係整個宇宙嘅拯救者，雖然即使係半神人同偉大嘅聖人都會因觸碰你而得到淨化，奉獻者本性會遵守同埋保護Vaishnava人嘅禮儀，維護愛士納雅嘅禮儀係奉獻者嘅榮觀。
So what is the important point here?
呢度嘅重點係講緊乜嘢？呢一個詩節。
You all should have name tags tomorrow or next time. So at least I can call on you. Okay, if you look at it carefully, the main point, there's 2 points that are highlighted. The characteristic of a devotee is to observe and protect Vaishnava etiquette.
咁呢度有兩個特點嘅，就係奉獻者嘅本性咧，係遵守同埋保護愛士納雅嘅禮。
And we are supposed to maintain those behavior properly.
咁我哋咧係應該咧係維持呢啲嘅行為嘅，好恰當咁維持呢啲。
A devotee is not someone you say, oh, he knows all the slokas. That's not the characteristic of a devotee. Yeah.
咁就係一個奉獻者嘅特徵咧，唔係話佢識晒所有嘅詩節，就係一個奉獻者。
It is behavior, how he treats another living entity.
而係咧，佢係點樣去對待其他嘅生物體？
And that is what he tries to always maintain.
咁呢個先至係咧，佢點樣係時常都係要維持佢作為愛士納雅呢一個嘅身份。
And some of these qualities we will go through, like being humble.
咁另外一啲嘅品質咧，就係話我哋需要謙卑啦。
Okay. Maryade lagane loka kare upasa, iha loka paraloka duhaya nasha. This is a behavior that when you follow Vaishnava etiquette, it pleases Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very deeply.
咁如果你遵守愛士納雅嘅禮儀咧，咁樣咧係好能夠取悅Mahaprabhu嘅主宰壇嘅。
So here it is said very clearly, if one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next.
咁呢個詩字好清楚咁樣講咗啦。佢話如果有人違背咗禮儀咧，世人咧都會嘲笑佢。咁樣咧，佢一生同埋來生咧就完蛋㗎啦。你遵守禮儀啦，就令到我心滿意足啦。
Just like when you are in a temple room and someone comes dressed funnily, everyone looks at them, right? Yeah. But then, okay, go on.
正如你喺廟咧，如果你見到有人着到奇裝異服咧，咁人人都會即係瞪大隻眼望住佢。
But then you forget that once before you were like that also.
咁但係你忘記咗，其實你之前你都係咁樣。
Right? Yeah. So the point here is that if we behave in a certain standard, people, or in general, the wherever you go, when they see the way you speak and the way you act and the way you react to people, they will see you in a favorable way.
即係話，如果我哋係做一啲合乎一個標準嘅行為咧，無論你講嘅説話啊，你嘅談吐啊，你點樣對待人咧，咁人咧就會因為你嘅行為咧而知道你係一個咩嘅身份。
For example, if you go on Harinam and then some people wear in a funny way, some people put some horns on their cap, and then you walk around, then the common people will think these are a bunch of clowns.
咁正如我哋出去 Harinam 啦，咁如果我哋着啲衫有啲係好古怪嘅，或者整兩隻牛角喺個頭度嘅，咁所以咧，如果啲外人睇到我哋呢一群人咁樣咧，佢就以為我哋係一隊小丑嚟嘅。
Right? So, but if everyone is dressed nicely and they look very presentable, then the ordinary people say, who are these people? They look very effulgent, very wonderful. Yeah.
咁但係如果我哋着得好有體面啦，好合乎呢個儀表啊，咁啲人咧就會問啦，啊呢啲人咁光彩奪目嘅，呢啲人係咩人嚟嘅咧？
You are very attractive if you follow a certain standard.
咁如果你係做一啲合乎標準嘅，或者你穿着合乎標準嘅咧，你就係令到人哋咧係感覺到係好有體面。
Okay, so continuing. Maryada rakhile tusta khale mora mana tumi aiche na kharele khare kon jana. By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. Who else but you could show this example?
咁跟住主恩坦兒就話：你遵守禮儀啦，讓我生理預足。除咗你，仲有邊個咧可以成為榜樣咧？
So again, just to reiterate, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very happy when we follow the standard of a Vaishnava.
咁你跟住讀落去咧，都係馬可夫咧點樣提醒我哋，同埋好嚴厲咁樣提醒我哋乜嘢係稱為咧外事立外嘅禮儀。
So it doesn't mean when you wear sari or dhoti, then you're a good person. Then when you don't wear sari, you do whatever you want.
咁又唔代表你當你着上 sari 或者 dhoti 嘅時候咧，你就做一個即係好行為端正嘅人。但係當你唔着呢啲即係規格嘅服裝嘅時候咧，你就乜都可以做。
Okay. All right. Now we'll go to lesson 2.
我哋而家睇第二課，
Pretty easy, right? So far.
係咪好明顯啊？
Just definitions and a simple meaning how to be a good person. But now we go into the actual Vaishnava etiquette definition.
嗱，之前咧就係一啲好普遍嘅點樣做一個即係行為恰當嘅人。咁但係而家第二課咧，我哋就會詳細啲、深入啲咁去解釋。
This is from the Hari Bhakti Vilas, written by Sanatan Goswami.
咁呢一個就係由Sanatana Goswami 寫嘅一本叫做《Hari Bhakti Vilas》。
And this is the definition of what Vaishnava etiquette means.
咁呢度就講出咗何謂 Vaishnava etiquette， 俾出個定出嚟。
So you can read there. Since nothing can be successful without sadachar or etiquette, every action should be performed with proper etiquette. We must act according to proper etiquette. The heart of a saintly person is free from contamination. The way a saintly person acts is known as sadachar. Now, sadachar means good behavior.
Sadachar 嘅意思就係好嘅行為，
Or proper behavior.
所有恰當嘅行為。
The word sad means it is the best. Yes.
Sat 嘅意思就係最好嘅，
The topmost behavior.
最一流嘅。
So if you behave properly, then many wonderful things can happen.
如果你係行為恰當、舉止恰當嘅話咧，跟住落嚟咧就會發生一啲好奇妙嘅事情。
Maybe you were walking in this busy Hong Kong street, and then you saw someone was crossing the street, and a bus was going to hit them.
咁例如你喺香港一個咁繁榮嘅都市喺度過馬路咧，突然間咧有架車咧撞到佢。
And you save them.
而咧你走上前去咧係救佢。
And next time you went for a job interview, the person you saved was sitting there.
跟住落嚟咧，你就去見工啦。咁啱咧，坐喺度見你嗰個人咧，就係你救咗嗰個人啊。
Because you behaved in such a good way, they immediately have a positive view.
因為你係做一啲咁好嘅行為咧，所以咧你即刻咧就會有一個結果出現。
But I can't say whether they'll hire you.
唔知呢個人會唔會請你咧？
So you should know this definition. Try to memorize this definition because it will help you explain to people why behaving in a certain way is helpful.
咁呢個你其實可以背咗佢嘅，咁就係可以幫到你咧。當你做一啲好嘅嘢咧，其實咧跟住咧，其實你係得返同樣嘅果報。
As a Vaishnava, when you start cultivating those qualities, and you start behaving in a certain way, you find those misgivings in your heart slowly will go away.
咁如果你係一路咁樣係去練習啦，去培養呢啲好嘅品質咧，咁慢慢咧，你內心嘅疑慮咧就會消失。
Bad feelings, bad thoughts, bad experiences, all of them you can easily push it out of your heart.
所有你內心以前嘅唔好嘅感覺啊，唔好嘅習慣啊、行為咧，慢慢咧就係遠離嘅。
Because as you follow whatever Krishna wants you to act, what the acharyas want you to behave as, you'll find as you follow those things that have been giving you or causing hurt in your life, will seem to be very trivial.
咁當你係喺度收集嘅時候咧 ，Krishna 咧就會將你以前咧係你嘅過失啊、你嘅唔好嘅習慣咧，慢慢佢就會幫你咧係去消除。
We understand, remember when Narad Muni helps this hunter to become a Vaishnava?
記唔記得 Narada Muni 咧曾經咧係協助一個獵人咧係成為 Vaishnava。
Initially, he was half killing all the animals.
咁之前咧，佢係一個好中意咧將啲動物咧殺到半生不死嘅。
And when Narada Muni convinced him not to be a hunter and become a devotee, he's afraid even to step on an ant.
咁當 Narada Muni 咧係將佢引導成為咗呢個奉獻者之後咧，佢就連隻蟻咧都唔敢踩。
So your behavior, as you understand and you change, leads to transformation in your heart.
咁當你明白咗一啲嘅道理嘅時候咧，你改變咗之後咧，咁你嘅內心咧亦都會跟住改變。
And therefore, the heart of a saintly person is free from contamination.
咁所以咧呢度個定義就係話，一個神聖嘅人嘅內心咧，亦都係免除污染。
So you become a saintly person.
咁你咧跟住就變咗一個神聖嘅人。
It is guaranteed you will be a saintly person, but you must be willing to follow.
咁其實係保證嘅，保證你會成為神聖嘅人嘅，但係你要肯去即係追隨呢啲嘅規則去做。
So basically in this course, you are getting the tools to act on and to change aspects of your life.
咁基本上呢個過程咧，就俾啲工具你咧，嚟去喺你生活裏邊唔同嘅範疇咧，係教導你哋點樣去做。
Right? Instead of looking at things from a certain angle, now you view things in a different way.
而唔係話俾你聽某件事情某一個角度，而現在咧你要從另外一個角度去睇某一啲嘅事情，就唔係。
Just like there's a saying, right? If you look at a a bottle of water, is it half full or half empty?
正如好似我哋成日有一個比喻就係話，我哋睇有一杯水係一半嘅，咁你會睇呢杯水係一半滿啦，抑或一半空？
So those who are optimistic, they will say it is half full.
咁有一個樂觀嘅人咧，佢會形容咧係話有一半滿。
So in general, our lives, if you go through, most people see things, life in a negative way.
咁一般人嚟講咧，佢哋睇生命咧都係從一個負面嘅角度去。
Because life itself is difficult, living in this world. It's difficult, it's not easy.
因為生命本身咧都係好困難嘅，一啲都唔容易。
But in Krishna consciousness, you revive your true personality, a spirit soul who's happy. So you start seeing the goodness in everything.
咁但係喺 Krishna 知覺咧，我哋係復甦翻我哋啲好嘅品質啊，咁所以咧我哋就會變得快樂。
So we don't say Krishna hates you, we say Krishna loves you. Yeah.
我哋從唔會講話 Krishna 好憎恨你嘅，而我哋只會講話 Krishna 好愛。
Right? You don't go preaching saying Krishna hates you for doing this.
你冇聽人講過話，你咁樣做咧 ，Krishna 會好憎你嘅。
Yeah. So we say Krishna always loves you, whether you do good or bad. But we want you to connect with Krishna more.
我哋只會話 Krishna 咧係好愛你嘅，我哋只會將人咧係同 Krishna 連接上。
Okay. All right. So let's go to lesson 3.
我哋而家睇第3課，
Rules and regulations.
就係規範守則。
Now, to understand rules and regulations, we will look at nectar of instruction.
咁我哋就睇課外嘅甘露教誨
Okay.
教誨嘅甘露，
Text 2 and the
第
purport.
2課嘅要旨。
Srila Prabhupada highlights one of the Rupa Goswami gives a few things, and so he highlights Prajalpo Niyamagraha. The Niyamagraha is what Prabhupada highlights.
咁聖爸爸咧就係強調呢個 Niyamagra。
Yes, Niyamagraha. Okay. Niyamagraha. Yes. Okay, you got it. By Jove, you got it. The rain in Spain falls mainly in Spain. Okay. So Niyamagraha here, Prabhupada highlights, and he wants us to understand that there are many rules and regulations.
咁聖爸爸咧就強調呢個 Niyamagra， 就係話咧我哋係有好多規範守則要去遵守。
So you find even in normal life situation, there are some rules you have to follow.
咁就算喺一般嘅生活裏邊咧，我哋都有好多規則要去追隨。
Someone may say, I don't have any rules. I'll do whatever I like.
咁有人會講我冇規則要遵守嘅，我中意做乜就做乜嘅。
Then you can ask the person, what time does your job start?
咁你就可以問佢啦。咁你幾多點要翻工嘅？
Right? Most people will have a job that starts in the morning and ends in the afternoon sometime.
咁一般人翻工都係早上翻工啦，然後晏晝或者黃昏就收工。
Now, unless you're a YouTuber or a podcast guy, then you have no time. You do whatever time.
除非你係喺 YouTube 度做嘢啦，或者係 podcast 嗰啲做嘢啦。如果唔係，你係有一個固定嘅翻工時間。
But even they also have some things they have to follow by a certain rules. Like if they have to do a podcast or YouTube, they need certain equipment, and then a certain lighting. So those rules are always there in life.
咁就算你係做 podcast 咧，你都係有一啲嘅規則啊，有一啲嘅技術啊，你要追隨咧，你先至可以成事嘅。
Okay. So Prabhupada wants us to also know that even in spiritual life, we have lots of rules and lots of regulations that if we follow, we'll get a good result.
咁所以聖爸爸就強調啦， 喺靈修嘅時候咧，我哋有好多規範守則去追隨嘅。如果你能夠遵循嘅話咧，你就會有好嘅收穫。
But he also emphasizes very important point is that we shouldn't just follow the rules for the sake of just, okay, I follow.
咁但係聖爸爸亦都係好強調咧，你唔係話為咗遵守規則嘅，
That means there must be an intention why I'm following.
而係咧你係要知道點解你要遵循呢啲守則。
Mostly we follow, but we don't understand why we follow.
好多時候咧，我哋都會遵循呢啲守則去做嘅，但係我哋唔知點解嘅。
Right? When we come, first time we come as a devotee, they say, here, chant 16 rounds, chant 4 rounds. Say, okay.
咁因為你初嚟到咧，咁你就奉獻者就叫你念16圈啦，或者念4圈啦，咁你就照做。
Or we say, oh, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex. But generally we don't explain properly.
咁然後咧，奉獻者又話唔好食魚啊，唔好食麻醉品啊咁樣。通常佢哋都唔會解釋多啲點解做呢啲嘢。
Or sometimes we even say, don't ask so many questions, just follow.
有時甚至會話唔好問咁多啦，你總之係做啦，遵循啦。
So Prabhupada don't want us to do these things.
咁其實聖爸爸咧就唔想我哋咁樣嘅，
He wants us to know why I'm doing this.
佢係想我哋咧要知道點解我哋要遵從呢啲守則。
The reason is if you know why you're doing it, then you'll do it thoroughly.
就係話，如果你係知道點解你要做呢啲嘢咧，你就會好完美咁樣去做呢啲嘢。
That means you will do it with conviction.
你就係有懷住信念咁去做呢啲嘢。
Otherwise, you'll say, he tell me, she tell me, I'll do today, tomorrow I don't do.
咁如果唔係咧，你話佢叫我做嘅，呢個叫我做嘅，咁你做得幾做咧，你就未必再有興趣做啦。
So it's important for each of you to ask yourself why you are actually following Krishna consciousness.
咁所以好重要一樣就係話，你自己而家要問下自己，點解我哋而家要追隨呢個 Krishna 之教？
And we don't follow it because it is true that if you follow all these shastric rules and regulations, you are actually going to benefit even materially.
咁所以如果你係遵循經典上邊啲詩節上邊所講嘅行為守則咧，你就算係喺物質方面咧，你都係得益嘅。
What I mean is, when you behave properly, you attract positive karma also.
咁就係話，如果你係好正面咁樣去行事咧，你就係吸引到一啲好嘅業報。
And that's why you find sometimes people will do yagna to please a demigod.
所以點解啲人有時要做火祭咧，嚟去取悅啲本神人咯？
And ask the demigods for blessings.
然後咧就係請求啲本神人咧俾祝福佢哋。
Yeah. And that is what Prabhupada says. We don't want that kind of followers.
咁聖媽媽就話咧，我哋唔想有呢一類嘅追隨者。
That means we come to Krishna and say, I really want to be a devotee, but for today you bless me, so I strike lottery.
咁你去Krishna 嗰度向 Krishna 祈禱，佢話我真係好想追隨Krishna consciousness 啊，所以咧我就好希望咧今日咧我就可以贏到呢個彩票。
If you become too entangled in material things or material wealth and so on, then the ability to focus on spiritual activities goes down.
咁如果你係好專注喺你呢啲物質嘅利益嗰度咧，你嗰個靈性嗰個心意咧個心態咧就會下降嘅。
Right? So I think I gave this example. There was a man who prayed to Durga Devi for getting wealth.
咁有一個人咧，佢就向Durga 女神咧係希望求財啦。
And then he said, if you give me good wealth, I promise you I will sacrifice a goat.
咁佢就對道家女神講，佢話：如果你係滿足我喺錢財嗰方面嘅得益咧，我就會咧係獻上一頭實羊俾你。
And then he got a lot of wealth.
咁跟住咧，
Durga blessed him.
佢真係咧得到好多錢，好多祝福。
And so he became a very successful businessman, became so busy.
咁佢就成為一個好成功嘅商人啦，於是就好忙碌啦。
And so he didn't have time to sacrifice a goat.
咁佢就冇時間咧去宰一隻羊嚟去獻祭俾道家女神。
So one night when he was sleeping, Durga came in his dream and said, "You rascal."
咁有一晚佢瞓覺發夢咧，道家女神就走嚟咧就話：你呢個橫蛋，
I'm going to, you haven't sacrificed, I'm going to take your life.
你冇即係回報翻你嘅承諾咧，我而家咧要殺咗你。
And he said, "No, no, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy, You are so good. You gave me so much wealth, and now I'm so busy. I promise you, I'll do something." Then she said, "No, no, I'm done with you. I'm going to kill you."
咁佢話：哎呀，唔好意思啊，對唔住啊，我太忙啦，我唔記得咗呢樣嘢。我一定而家即刻咧就即係做翻我承諾嘅嘢，我就又宰翻隻羊，即係奉獻俾你。咁但係道家女神就話：唔得啦，我已經對你心淡啦，總之我要殺咗你。
Then in his dream, he was thinking, goat is too expensive to buy nowadays.
咁佢就諗啊，而家買隻羊好貴嘅喎。Is it goat? G-O-L-D? Goat. G-O-A-T. OK. 仲啱啦。係啊，佢話而家啲山羊好貴喎。
Okay, she's saying the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So goat, not the greatest of all time. Okay. Okay.
係最後聽到啦。
So then he proposed, I can't get goat, so I'll bring a chicken.
佢話咧，我買唔起一隻羊啊，我不如買隻雞啦。
I promise you tomorrow I'll come.
好，我應承你，我就會買隻雞啊，聽日。
And then the next morning when he got up, he was thinking, yeah, I have to go and get a chicken for.
咁所以第二朝起身咧，佢就諗住，我而家去買隻雞嚟，即係獻俾道家女神。
But then his business partners called him and say, you have to come, this business has need your help. And so he forgot to do the chicken sacrifice.
咁但係突然間咧，佢個即係拍檔咧，即係啲生意嘅拍檔咧，就話：喂，你快啲嚟啊！有啲事一定要你幫手喎。咁佢即刻咧又忘記咗去買雞。
And then he went home because he got so tired after his business and he slept. And again, Durga came in his dream.
咁佢做完辦完呢啲事務之後咧，咁就好攰啦，咁就翻咗去瞓覺，又唔記得咗呢件事啦，唔記得咗去買雞啦。
This time she had her lance on his neck like that.
咁於是道家女神嗰一晚咧又出現喺佢個夢裏邊啦。於是咧道家女神就揸住一支鐮刀啊，就去對住佢個喉嚨啦。
Where's my chicken?
就問佢：我隻雞咧？
Then he again, really frightened. So he said, I will come tomorrow. For sure, I'll come.
咁佢就好驚啦。然後咧就話：我聽日會嚟㗎啦，我聽日一定會嚟㗎啦。
And so next day he went to the Durga temple for his sacrifice.
咁所以第二日咧，佢就去到道家女神嘅廟咧，就做一啲嘅獻祭。
So then there are many chicken there. Everyone ready to sell the chicken for his sacrifice.
咁嗰度咧，廟附近咧就有好多賣雞嘅，咁所以咧佢就隨便揾咗隻雞咧就可以殺咗佢哋，供奉俾道家女神。
And then again he was thinking, why I have to spend so much money on a chicken?
咁跟住佢又諗啦，點解我要花咁多錢嚟買隻雞咧？
So he goes to Durga and then he says, look, the chicken is too expensive. I don't think they're good quality also.
咁佢就對住道家女神講啦，佢話我覺得啲雞好貴喎，而且啲質即係啲品質又唔係咁好喎。
So the Durga statue started moving.
跟住咧，道家女神嘅像咧就開始喐啦，喐動啦。
And then he really got frightened. He said, no, Then she said, you promised and now you didn't. You must die. And then she took her lance up. He said, I'll give you, 100 house flies.
100
Flies.
flies 哦， 咁於是咧，佢而家就真係好驚啦，因為道家女神已經開始準備殺佢啦。咁於是跟住佢咧就好情急之下咧就答應咧，佢話我殺幾百隻蒼蠅俾你。
Then she said, finally she can, okay, give me the flies. You know.
咁道家女神就都答應啦，好啦，咁你就俾啲供奉啲蒼蠅俾我啦。
And then he said, there's so many flies flying around you, so you can catch yourself.
咁佢就對道家女神佢話：你周圍咧好多烏蠅，即係好多蒼蠅喺呢度飛嚟飛去，不如你自己去捉啦。
So what did you learn from this story?
咁你喺呢個故事裏邊學咗啲咩
啊
教導咧？呢個故事
I learned it's me. Like I do the same thing. Like
Oh, okay.
you're
Promise.
it's like like not promise someone, but like just promise Krishna,
Okay.
I'll do this, and then it's always like negotiating.
Negotiate. What else you all learn?
即係馬斯話佢呢個就係佢啊。咁我哋成日承諾 Krishna 好多嘢但係我哋就唔會做。
Hmm?
Non-veg food is expensive.
Non-veg food is a good one.
Better be vegetarian.
Better to be vegetarian.
Salt oil in your big one.
哦，non-vegetarian food is more
唔
dear，
係中文係
即係唔係蔬菜比較貴。
即係都係比較貴咯。
哦
係冇錯。即係做 vegetarian 做咩？即係食
What did you learn, Prabhu, from the story?
We try to procrastinate our responsibility and duty.
Okay, yeah, we procrastinate and we don't do our duty. Okay, what else?
我哋成日好中意拖延啊，唔去履行職責。
We are greedy.
We are greedy.
我哋好貪婪。
You can see, yes,
Promise.
breaking promises also. Yeah, you can see all these are centered around.
Not really negotiate with the boss.
Cannot negotiate with God. Yes.
我哋唔可以同神去討價還價。
Then we should not bribe the gods. It's like a bribe.
Exactly.
我哋賄賂。
Yeah, exactly. You know, the rules and regulations are meant to be followed so that you become a better person.
所有啲規範守則咧，都係訓練啦，都係培養我哋成為一個更加好嘅人。
But then you can see how people can take the rules for their own benefit.
咁但係人咧就通常就利用呢啲咁嘅規範守則咧，嚟去對自己有利嘅，佢就去做。
So the lesson you should learn is that rules in Krishna consciousness are for you to make advancement.
咁我哋要知道喺 Krishna 知覺裏邊啲規則啦、規範守則咧，就係為我哋咧係幫我哋去成為一個更好嘅人。
You're not supposed to use them to exploit for your own material benefits.
而唔係利用佢咧嚟去為自己尋求福祉，即係對自己有利嘅。
Okay. So therefore, don't pray to Krishna for material things. We approach Krishna so that we spiritually make advancement.
我哋唔向 Krishna 咧尋求祈求一啲物質嘅嘢，我哋而係咧係要利用呢啲規範守則咧，令到自己靈性上面有進步。
And therefore, Srila Prabhupada says one should strictly follow the regulative principles by avoiding the four regulative principles.
所以聖媽媽就話：佢話我哋要好嚴格咁遵守呢啲嘅規範守則咧，就係唔做呢四個嘅，即係唔違背呢四個規範守則。
Just remember, if you follow the four regulative principles, it means you are just becoming a human being. That's what it means. Yeah.
如果我哋其實遵守四個規範守則咧，先至係開始係一個真正嘅人。
If you don't follow, then you're not a human being yet.
如果你仲未曾守到呢個四個規範守則咧，你仲未係人。
Now, all these rules and regulations are meant for you to come to a point of focus.
所有呢啲嘅規範守則咧，其實就係幫助我哋去專注。
I know it's late for many of you. You may want to take rest or something, but if you feel sleepy, just stand up, you know.
咁
No
如
problem.
果太疲倦咧，你可以起身喐下，因為都係夜。
Yeah, as I mentioned, all these rules and regulations so that you can come to a focus on Krishna ultimately.
咁所以呢啲規範守則咧，都係幫助我哋最終咧係專注喺 Krishna。
So there's a verse from Padma Purana, and this is the verse.
咁喺 Padma Purana 咧就有一個詩字。
It's a good verse for you all to know. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, Vishmartavya najatu sit. Sarve vidhi nisheda shu, etayureva kinkaraha. It's not in your notes,
呢個唔係不
so you can take it down.
可以寫低佢咧。
It's the famous one. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Or you can take a picture.
就係恒常咁樣憶念 Krishna 啦，永遠唔好忘記 Krishna。
And you can see it in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
咁
This.
亦都喺永恆嘅主宰產業經裏邊有嘅。
That means whatever rules you follow, the rules must always help you remember Krishna.
咁無論你遵守任何嘅規範守則咧，呢啲規範守則咧都應該係幫助你係記憶起 Krishna 嘅。
All the rules that you follow should not make you forget Krishna.
所有你遵循嘅規範守則咧，都唔會令你忘記 Krishna 嘅。
Okay? So if you do some activity and if you're going to forget Krishna, then that activity is not favorable.
如果你做任何嘅活動咧，嗰啲活動令你忘記 Krishna 嘅話咧，嗰個活動咧就係對 Krishna 不利嘅，對你嘅 Krishna 知覺係不利嘅。
So you'll find as you are making changes in your life, from material life to spiritual life, you'll see many rules, many regulations that you have to follow.
咁所以當你發覺你從你嘅以前物質嘅生活係轉到去靈性生活嘅時候咧，你就有好多嘅規範守則咧要去遵守。
Yeah. Just like when we first came to the Hare Krishna movement, they tell you first chant, right? Then after that, they tell you, oh, you have to follow four regulative principles. Then after that, they okay.
咁就係初我哋嚟到嘅，佢哋首先就叫我哋遵守4個規範守則啦，然後咧跟住就係我哋要念誦16篇。
Then they tell you you cannot eat anything except prasadam.
跟住就會叫你啦，你除咗 prasadam 之外咧，乜嘢都唔可以食嘅。
Right? And then they tell you Chaturmasya.
然後跟住咧就係 Chaturmasya， 就係呢個4個月係啦，呢個4個月嘅苦行啦。
You're like, what? Fasting some more?
咁跟住咧就係點解你會問啊？點解咁多嘅戒食嘅要？
Then they say Ekadasi,
跟住就係每2個星期一次嘅 Ekadasi 啦。
no grains.
嗰一日咧唔可以食五穀類啦。
And you're thinking, I'd rather die.
咁到嗰陣時開始，你開始話我不如死咗佢啦。
And then they tell you half-day fast.
然後跟住又有要 fast 半日喎。
Then they say full-day fast.
跟住嚟咧就係全日都要斷食咯。
And then you think, I'm not eating anything.
咁你跟住話咁點啊？我乜都唔食得啊！
Right? But are we remembering Krishna? Half-day fast, full-day fast.
你諗下，當你係斷食半日啦，或者全日斷食嘅時候，你有冇諗起 Krishna？
Mostly devotees remember when is the breaking fast time.
因為人嚟講咧，都會係成日掛住幾時先係斷，即係呢個咩打破斷食嘅時間。
Yeah, but Krishna says, time I am, destroyer of all worlds.
咁 Krishna 就講咧，我就係時間啦，係全所有嘅嘢嘅毀滅、消滅者啦。
Right? So there's so many rules for us, yeah, to
咁的
follow.
確咧，我哋係有好多好多嘅規範守則。
But instead of thinking why so many rules, we should start to change the way we see things and ask, how is this rule helping me to remember Krishna?
咁當我哋一路即係知道好多嘅規範守則嘅時候咧，我哋就應該開始諗咧，呢啲規範守則咧點樣係幫緊我做出改變？
Right? Why fasting half day is good for me to remember Krishna?
點解我哋斷食半日咧係幫助我去記憶 Krishna 咧？
How is it I'm feeling so hungry that I'm not remembering Krishna?
點解會咧？我因為太肚餓咧，我就記唔起 Krishna 咧？
So in the beginning, when you do half a day fast and so on, because you're conditioned to eating so much, your mind wants to eat in the beginning.
咁所以最初嘅時候咧，斷食半日嘅時候咧，因為我哋已經即係條件限制咗啊，以前嗰個觀念咧係習慣咗食嘢嘅，咁所以我哋斷食半日嘅時候咧，我哋只係記住咧係肚餓啊，要食嘢呢樣嘢。
But because you are following a devotee who's telling you to do, you are pleasing Krishna indirectly.
咁因為我哋做呢樣嘢咧係跟隨住其他嘅奉獻者嘅教導去做嘅，咁所以咧間接地咧，其實我哋係取悅緊 Krishna。
You do not know you are hungry,
你就唔記得咗你係肚。
but Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, they are giving you blessing.
咁與此同時咧 ，Krishna 啦同聖爸爸咧，佢係俾緊我哋祝福。
And so after some years, you will say, today we have to fast.
咁幾年之後咧，你就會好主動咁講啦。咦，今日我哋要斷食喎。
Because it's appearance day of Lord Balaram and you're like happy.
因為今日係主 Balaram 嘅顯現日，或者係隱跡日喎，咁你反而覺得好開心。
Or you say it's appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. Wow, nice face.
咁或者嗰一日咧係聖爸爸嘅顯現日喎，哇有好嘅大餐食啊！
So more and more you connect to Krishna.
咁逐漸咧，我哋就可以同 Krishna 聯繫上。
There's more positive towards fasting. You're no more feeling negative.
咁漸漸咧，我哋對斷食咧嗰個感覺咧係越嚟越正面啊，而唔再係負面。
And then devotees say, Narsingha Chaturdasi, if you fast 24 hours, you can go back to Godhead.
咁跟住咧就係律宣下嘅 Chaturdasi 啊。咁奉獻者話俾你聽，如果你全日斷食咧，你就可以咧翻去神手嗰度。
And there are devotees who do that.
咁而的確咧係有奉獻者係咁做嘅。
I was giving a class on how Prahlad became Prahlad Maharaj.
咁我上嗰個課就係 Prahlad Maharaj 點樣就成為 Prahlad Maharaj。
So on Narsingha Chaturdasi in his previous life, he fasted and he did not eat, he didn't drink for 24 hours.
咁喺呢一日律宣下 Chaturdasi 咧 ，Prahlad Maharaj 咧佢就真係乜都冇食喎，水都冇飲喎，24小時喎。
That means from Narsingha Chaturdasi day completely until the next morning.
就係喺律宣下顯現日嗰一日，直至到第二日朝頭早。
So then two devotees that heard the class, right? And so the next whole day they was Narsingha Chaturdasi. So they fasted completely.
咁其中有兩個奉獻者聽到呢個課咧，佢喺嗰日即係律宣下 Chaturdasi 嗰一日咧，跟住第二日咧，佢就真係完全斷食。
And then the next day they cooked breakfast for all the devotees, they fed them. After that, they sat down and broke their fast.
咁第二朝早咧，佢哋兩個咧仲煮大餐俾其他奉獻者，俾佢哋食。咁等所有奉獻者食完之後咧，佢哋先坐低自己食早餐。
So it just happened recently, and it was so everyone was like, "Wow, so amazing!"
咁呢件事其實係最近發生嘅啫。咁其他奉獻者都話都好驚訝，都好讚歎，即係佢哋呢一種。
Because they're inspired, and so they want to remember Krishna.
因為佢哋受到鼓舞啊，佢哋就希望咁樣可以記住 Krishna。
So they change their behavior.
佢哋將自己嘅行為咧係完全改變過嚟。
Yeah. So another devotee say, I can't do because I have gastric.
咁其他嘅同行者話唔得啊，我個胃係唔適宜。
Yeah, but the thing is, they want to do it, but they have gastric, so they can't do it. But if you think you want to do it and you can't do it because you're sick, you still get the benefit because Krishna knows you want to do it in your heart, and so you get the blessing also.
咁另外有啲奉獻者話，其實佢好想嘅，佢好想咁樣做，
Interesting.
因為佢個胃唔得啦，咁斷唔到啦。咁但係如果你就算係咁樣，你係有呢個慾望做一啲嘅即係犧牲，但係做唔到咧 ，Krishna 會知道嘅，咁咧你都會得到好處嘅。
So next Narasimha Chaturdasi, everyone will have gastric.
咁下一次嘅咪先一隻挑就少咧，咁每個人咧都會有胃痛嘅。
Next week, Vijaya Ekadasi.
Huh?
Next week, Vijaya Ekadasi.
Nirjala Ekadasi. Yeah.
Next Saturday.
Yeah. Those who can do, you should do it.
We go back to God.
Yeah. You please, when you do this fasting, you please the deities so much.
當我哋喺節日斷食嘅時候咧，我哋係好能夠取悅到神像。
Like I said, in the beginning, you don't understand, but then later on, you understand, wow, the Lord is happy if I do that. So you do it happily.
初時我哋係唔明白嘅，但後來我哋明白嘅時候咧，我哋知道當我哋咁樣做嘅時候咧，係神像係會好高興嘅。
Okay. So it's almost 8:30. I have 15 minutes more. Is there any comments or questions?
仲有15分鐘，你哋有冇人有問題咧，或者有疑問？
Yes.
Just about fasting. The Lord is pleased by many aspects of devotional service,
Yes.
not only fasting.
Because we were talking about fasting. Yes.
I just bring this up because, I mean, like what you mentioned just now about those devotees who fasted, and that's very special.
Yeah.
But Sitarani Mataji and I were just whispering up between ourselves that they must be young devotees with no health issues, no need to take medication. They can do this.
No, both of them are, one is 50 something, the other one is 60 something.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes it even more special.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very inspired. All the other devotees were like so inspired by them.
咁頭先講緊嘅就係話，啱先提出咧就係話，嗰兩個奉獻者一定係好年青，冇乜健康上面嘅問題嘅，先至可以即係咁樣斷食啊咩？咁但係原來馬夫話唔係啊，佢哋50幾歲、60幾歲㗎啦，咁所以先至係令人哋咁鼓舞咯。
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, just in case you all are thinking about fasting, it's not only fasting. There are other, there are 9 angas in devotional service. If you do any one of them with affection for Krishna, you get blessing.
頭先我哋係專題咁樣講斷食啦，咁但係其實有9項嘅奉愛服務嘅，咁其實任何一項服務你即係能夠係好懷住愛咁去為 Krishna 服務咧，都係。
My main point is devotees having understood the principles, the rules and regulations, they modify their behavior.
咁就係我所講嘅咧，強調就係話我哋要知道我哋規範守則嘅大原則，然後你自己咧就因應自己嘅情況咧嚟去即係將佢執行出嚟。
Similarly, all of you can see what are the things you can change to please Krishna.
咁就係話你自己睇下，你有啲乜嘢地方可以改變自己，你去取悅 Krishna。
The earlier slide, like I think it was the first or the second one, I read count. You know, like it was on the slide, a count.
What?
Count. C-U-L-T, count
Cult.
of Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
I know we are movement of Krishna consciousness, but I've never heard of count Krishna consciousness.
Cult means culture of.
Okay, culture.
Yeah.
呢度個
That's what
cult
the term originally meant, culture of. Yeah.
I thought, I must have not known the meaning.
Yes.
You know, like on documentaries, the cult, you know.
Yeah, so nowadays cult is a derogatory term, but actually in English, cult means of a part of a culture.
咁頭先提出個問題就係話筆記有 CULT cult 呢個字眼，咁即係馬拉斯就話唔知呢一個字眼喺呢個哲學裏邊嗰個用法，咁法官咧就話 cult 其實就係文化嘅意思。
Yeah, in proper English, it's okay. It's only nowadays people think cult means something negative here.
咁喺正面嘅意思咧 ，cult 咧其實就係文化啦。咁但係而家咧有一個負面嘅意思嘅，就係話啲 cult 咧就有一啲嘅好似邪教啊之類咁嘅意思嘅，只不過係某啲嘢嘅用法嘅啫，唔係一個正式嘅解釋嘅。
Oh, yeah.
I struck and just yes, the saying that I'm just so struck as you have. It's so nice to see this statement there, which says that it is characteristic of the devotee to observe and protect Vaishnava. Yeah, I just feel very, very nice, very good to read this because personally I feel that it is fun, at least in our yatra I can speak of. It's been my experience that we place so much emphasis on philosophy, understanding philosophy, and even preaching and making devotees, programs, festivals, this and that. But we don't give enough importance to this
Our
rational
etiquette and behavior, how to treat one another.
Yeah, and not only we don't consciously do this, but I find that no offense to anyone, forgive me for this, but I find that the newer generation of devotees have even less regard for this than the older ones. And they just feel this is not such an important thing. It's not so important. And, chill. It's chill, let's be practical, kind of things like this. But I see that kind of sentiment where we water it down and it's not taken so seriously, translates into problems.
Yes.
In the yatra, because translates into problem in the person's behavior. And oh yes, I'm sorry. Sanatan Prabhu is expert. He's Sanatan Goswami. He can yeah.
馬姐提到一個就係頭先嗰個詩詞入邊提到呢個鳳姐嘅特性呢度就係唔單止哲學方面嚟講，亦都係講到呢個禮儀方面。咁佢自己本身個人經驗啦，咁我哋係做好多方面嘅，搞好多活動喺度啊，做好多個傳教嘅嘢喺度，或者哲學方面都係講好多去傳教。但係對禮儀方面嚟講咧，唔係咁着重喺度。咁所以留意到嚟講咧，新嘅一代喺度，新一班嘅嚟講咧，更加同老嗰班係唔同，舊嗰班嘅奉獻者嚟講咧，或者會係懂一啲禮儀，而新嗰代嚟講，反而覺得係唔係咁着重呢樣嘢喺度。咁發覺嚟講，呢啲越嚟越嚟講會放低下喺度。咁我心態嚟講啲係唔咁着重，所以好有興趣即係將呢方面帶翻出嚟喺度。我哋應該留意翻嚟講就係唔單止係哲學方面嚟講，奉獻之間個禮儀啊、法律方面，我哋呢樣唔重要。
Yeah, so just saying that this translates into problems, for the person individually, and by extension, in the yatra. And when we, when the older devotees try to remind others of this, the tendencies to think that, we have to be practical, this and that. Or you're too strict. You're too straight, too scared, this and that, everything. Old fashioned, too straight, this and that, like this and that. And they just many devotees just don't seem to understand the importance of this. They give so much importance to the philosophy, to the preaching, to the Zen, and the Sadachara part is not given enough. And it's just scary actually to see that they don't understand how, this is a pitfall. A slip in the Sadachara part can really undermine everything else that we are doing.
Yes.
And this is I feel quite prevalent, even in our yasha, we're very easygoing here. It's nice in a way because it's, easy to work together, everything, but we are, I think, very lax in this area and it can be very dangerous going forward.
I think it all depends on the culture. Oh, translation.
咁啱先提到一點佢話，而家發現呢啲問題嚟講咧，唔單止係個人，甚至乎有哋整個一凡啲整個廟入邊好多抗議出嚟，好多已經成間廟都會有咁嘅情況。咁有啲後生嗰輩嚟講咧，覺得呢啲係啲好有過時喺度㗎啦，同埋而家都唔得實際喺度。你咁嚴嚟講，呢啲人更加係唔中意，係做唔到、跟唔到喺度，所以唔應該咁嚴喺度。咁巴斯提唔係頭先講即係話，當你咁樣嚟講，啲人睇唔覺得好重要喺度咧，變咗越嚟越會係淡啦，我哋喺度會鬆散喺度啊，啲人會跟得好好喺度，其實係唔係咁好喺度對我哋嚟講。
Then, yeah, I think it's it has become a culture where we don't train new devotees in many temples for fear of losing. And therefore, there's no emphasis on training of new devotees.
咁喺好多呢年一幾時差唔多好似個潮一個，咁好多廟嚟講都冇着重或者係訓練奉獻，即係呢一方面喺度，因為驚嚟講會係啲奉者會流失喺度，太嚴對佢哋嚟講會流失。
We find that in temples where they have a fixed program for education, training, and so on, they have a higher standard of Vaishnava etiquette.
咁你發覺如果有啲廟會搞啲嘅課程喺度啊，有多啲嘅活動嚟講，啲人多參與嚟講咧，咁你發覺啲奉獻者嚟講嗰個水平嚟講咧，喺禮儀方面嚟講係比較高啲。
And also the culture of respecting and treating one another at a higher standard is not seen within many temple situation in ISKCON.
咁佢話，譬如奉獻之間嘅交往咁同我或者尊重奉獻者嚟講嘅行嚟講咧，其實唔係好多而家啲ISKCON廟嚟講都係會係着重留意呢啲嘅。
Generally in ISKCON, they will only respect a sannyasi or a guru, and everyone else can go.
因為如果一般人嚟講，即係係對教導真喺度啊，或者係靈性導師嚟講比較尊敬啲喺度。咁其他嗰啲奉者大家都差唔多咁，我哋都係平起平坐咁，會係咁樣嘅心態。
Yeah, if you're not popular on YouTube, then they don't even respect you.
望住如
So
果你
if that's the culture we are cultivating, then yeah, you're right. We need to change. Yeah.
咁而家就係一般嗰個文化，啲人睇法咧係咁喺度，咁覺得除非你係一個重要嘅角色喺廟，你嗰一般人講定會覺得好尊敬你喺度，咁覺得大家都一樣。
Just like we are doing Vaishnava etiquette course. At the end of the course, how many of us are going to really say, I want to change and do some of these things? Yeah.
咁好似譬如我哋而家上呢個課程啦，咁有幾個人會喺呢個課程完咗之後嚟講咧，會諗嚟講，喺我會學完呢個課程之後嚟講，我會自己心態會改變過嚟，跟住會有咩做，會做出嚟喺度嘅。
Right. So I remember when I first joined, we would pay obeisance to one another.
咁我記得開頭開始係參與嗰時講咧，我哋會係互相頂拜啦，奉獻者之間。
So later on, I went to another temple and I was doing the same thing. I paid obeisance to everybody I see.
咁跟住去到另一邊嚟講咧，我見到啲奉獻者嚟講，我都係俾頂拜佢哋。
So they paid obeisance for a couple of days, then they said, stop it.
咁但係過咗幾日之後嚟講咧，跟住啲奉獻者唔好再頂拜，就停啦，唔好再頂。
So the whole culture was different. They didn't feel comfortable doing it. Yeah.
咁嗰個文化已經係唔同咗喺度，有啲人覺得好似唔係咁舒服咁樣，我成日咁樣做喺度。
And pretty much after a while, nobody pays obeisance.
咁過咗之後，咁跟住嚟講都已經冇做互相頂拜呢回事。
And so it has to come down from top down. The management has to say, this is the standard we want.
咁呢個其實應該由上至下喺度，由個管理層最高嘅開始講落嚟喺度，呢個就係我哋水準，我哋應該要咁樣做。
It means GBC, regional secretary, then the temple president, everyone must believe this is the way we're going to have a good production of devotees. Yeah.
咁應該由 GBC 喺度啊，跟住係區域嘅負責人喺度，跟住你同我主廟長喺度，跟住落到嚟奉獻者嚟講，大家都有個知道嚟講，其實啊，我哋應該係咁樣做，咁樣做落嚟講，先有啲好嘅一個奉獻者培養到出嚟。
But then the problem is they say if when we do all this, then we are not getting any devotees.
咁但係佢哋都係咁諗緊到，如果我真係咁樣實施落嚟嗰度咧，變咗實行落嚟，可能我哋培養揾唔到奉獻者翻嚟。
But if we follow nicely, by our behavior, we will attract new people.
咁但係如果我哋自己跟好啲嘢做好啲嚟講咧，可能我哋會係一個好嘅品質，會吸引到人哋做奉獻者。
How did Prabhupada start the movement?
咁Paul究竟點樣開呢個運動？
Because his behavior was so wonderful that people want to be with him. Yeah.
咁Paul嘅行為就係幾咁之理想之實，有啲人見到之後咧受佢吸引，想同佢一齊。
Because he had true love for every living entity.
因為佢對每一個生物體嚟講都係充滿愛。
Because of proper Vaishnava etiquette, he recognized who's who. Yeah.
因為佢有個真正嘅愛散禮儀喺度，佢哋呢度嚟講，邊個每一個生物體究竟真正嘅身份係乜嘢？
So yeah, your point well taken. And
咁
everyone here should understand this is good for you, good for others. And even if others don't behave well, you should behave well.
Yes.
咁佢帶出呢點係好喺度啦。咁我哋每一個都要認識到呢點，即使我自己係咁樣做，有啲人未必咁樣做都唔緊要，你自己做好似你自己先。
Okay. All right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, morning.
Tomorrow morning at
對
9:30. Okay. Yeah.
咁聽日早上係9點半鐘。
So you translating tomorrow? Okay. Good. All right. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So who's stopping the recording? Oh.